I've seen the Swiss Alps, the Italian Alps, but still the Himalayan mountains are still one of my favorite places.
Hi everyone. So today we have Dr. Shashwat with us, and we have been trying to reach out to him for a long, long time. And finally, the day is here. The man himself here with us, Shashwat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to your Dozy Shashwat. And I understand that you are a doctor by profession, and you also travel as a hobbyist. So
Yeah.
how does that combination work out for you? How did this entire journey start, and how do you manage your time between the two jobs?
Yeah. So to take you to the beginning of all of this, let's jump back like 15 years. Like I was in the 10th grade when we are told to decide about what future you want to select or what you want to do in life. Because here in India, it's like 10th standard. After the 10th standard, you're told to decide whether you want to go into the maths profession or biology profession, right? So of course, my parents were also doctors, and my mother is a psychiatrist. My father is also a doctor. So biology and all these things came very naturally to me. Maths was, of course, not a very big, strong position for me. And of course, I'd been hearing a lot of medicine stuff, biology stuff back home. So it came very naturally, and it was, of course, very natural choice to take this line. And back then, we did not have a lot of options with respect to professions that we have now. Like I see a lot of professions opening up that were not even possible back then, right? And so, of course, I took medicine. It came naturally to me, and it's after that, it's just 5.5 years of basic studies, and then you specialize into something. That's 8.5 years after your 12th standard. So, in the middle of all this, right, I was in fourth year, final year of my studies, and I had the chance to take a bike trip to Ladakh. Ladakh is a northern region of India. So I had a chance to take a bike trip with my father and a few of his friends. So during that time, I realized that this is such an amazing world we have. And yeah, we definitely follow professions that are respected or so called appreciated by the society. But does that really make us happy, truly happy? So that is when I realized that I'm really finding the happiness here in the nature, in the mountains. And I was, this I had not experienced this before. So it was too late by then to do anything about it. I've invested 4.5 years into something and it's rigorous, like studies and hospital work is rigorous. So it's too late to do anything. But then I decided that whenever I find the time to do something related to this, something I don't know what, because travel vlogging was not big back then, or anything to do with traveling was not big back then. So I thought whenever I find the time, I'll do something about it. So in the middle of all that, after my fourth year, I took small trips, all bike trips to Arunachal, Bhutan, and Everest Base Camp. That was my favorite trek till now, the trek to Everest Base Camp, and that was one I decided now whenever it happens, I need to do something about this. I started taking photos, a few videos, small snippets, just started collecting it. I knew that whenever in the future I would find the time, I would do something about this. So yeah, and then 8.5 years finished, got married, and started my practice. I met my wife in fourth year, and so we were together since then, since 10 years now. And we started a practice, and now that I have some time to do something about it, I've been practicing for 3 years. So the last 2 years, I have the time and the resources to finally do something about it. And then I started traveling, gaining more experiences, and started to record more experiences. And then I started reading more into it, learning more about editing and everything. Learned everything from YouTube. Whatever I have learned, it's all from YouTube. There's been so many amazing people who teach videography, filmmaking. You don't need to go for schools for that, I feel. I learned everything from there, and one of the videos really picked up, and this gradually has become a side hustle, a side profession, I can say, that I can, finally give some good time to. And that is how this entire thing is running now.
Amazing, amazing. And that journey that you have highlighted, like it can become an inspiration for a lot many others, like who might be
Yeah,
caught in a similar situation as well. So, like,
exactly.
if I were to say, being a doctor and being a travel blogger as well, and you had to pick one, what would you do?
See, as of now, it's in the beginning. Travel blogging does not pay the bills, right? It's the reality of life. It will not pay your bills. It's not your bread butter initially, right? So, of course, whatever I've studied, I really enjoyed my college life as well. I really like interacting with my patients, helping them, of course, as much as I can. So primarily, yes, I am a doctor because I've spent 8.5 years of my life studying a science that it's really helpful for a lot of people. So yes, I would of course like to be a doctor first, and of course then now I can transition to a point where travel blogging is equivalent to where my doctor is. Then maybe I can think of calling myself a travel blogger first.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful.
Yeah.
The thought that you have there. You have been traveling for nearly 8 to 10 years now, right?
Yeah, it's been 10, 15 years since I can say
10, 15.
I have started traveling. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And how many countries have you visited till now?
So I think it's the count is around 17, 18 countries till
Oh,
now.
wow.
17, yeah, 17 to 18 countries. Most of them, of course, for Indians, all the neighboring countries are the ones that come up first. It's all Nepal, Bhutan. Then, of course, anyone who's going abroad, the first place they'll go is, of course, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. All these countries are really close to us. Then, of course, Dubai, UAE. And then once you have experience of all that, then you venture to Europe. Then I had the chance to go to Hungary, Slovakia, Austria, Switzerland, Italy, Germany, and recently Ireland and UK.
Okay.
So those are the countries. And last year we went to Japan. So that was like the epitome of all travel people. वहाँ पे, like you really want to go there once, Japan in your life. So these are 16, 17 countries you have you traveled to.
Amazing. And like, which one was your favorite out of all of these?
Uh, Out of all of these, I have a tie between two places. I just cannot pick one. So, Austria is a very beautiful country because you see, it's very close to Switzerland, but it's not Switzerland, and it's very similar to that, and it's really, really less commercial, less touristy. That is what I like because definitely Switzerland was very beautiful, but the country of Austria is amazing. It has the same Alps, it has the same infrastructure. It's beautiful, and similarly, Ireland, it's the neighbor of UK. So it's very similar to UK, but it's not UK at the same time. And the people there, the culture there, both these places are really amazing. So Austria and Ireland have to be my favorite countries till now.
Are you a mountain person by any chance?
Definitely a mountain person. Definitely hands down. There is no debate about beaches and mountains. I am 100% a mountain person.
Yes, with all the experience at the Everest Base Camp, Ireland,
Yeah.
Austria, like all the places, like are loaded with beautiful mountains and scenery.
Definitely. Like I find myself really happy in nature. See, I like cities as well and beaches as well, but cities somehow I'm not a big fan of large urban areas. I would rather be somewhere high up in the mountains when there is clean air, fresh air, and you have a lot of peace of mind. So that's my vibe. It can be different for everyone, but I love mountains. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And we love taking a look at all the pictures that you post on Instagram of all the
Yeah.
mountains and beautiful sceneries. So, yes, we cannot complain about that, right?
Yeah.
Please visit all the mountains that you want to.
Yeah.
We'd love to take a look at all those pictures.
Definitely.
Shashwat, I understand that a lot of people, like when they start traveling for the first time, they have a lot of apprehensions about which places to pick, which places to visit. Is the place safe? Or, how should I plan my journey? Do you have any
Yeah.
tips around that?
Yeah, so what these 10, 15 years have taught me is that you should not see there are certain trends in traveling. There are certain people that these should visit such places or you should be doing this, which is not true. I feel you should go to places or experience things that appeal to you the most, right? Definitely trends are important, whatever is why people are going, but I have been there many times where I thought that I would enjoy the place, but it was not my thing. So one thing I would say is that research yourself and just look at the places that you would enjoy, number one. And it's not necessary to have the stereotype experience that people or things that are advertised as. So just enjoy what is your vibe. Just enjoy the places that you would want to go to deciding a place. Secondly, what people think about traveling is that it's really expensive, but it does not have to be. It's all about priorities. Like, what do you want to prioritize during a trip? Would you rather have an experience with respect to some activity or with respect to your shopping? It's all about your priorities. So
Right.
if you just prioritize about what you want to do and what not what the country wants you to do, it's not going to be that expensive. So you really need to think about it. Okay, it can become economical if you want to, and of course there are a lot of specific budget tips that I have mentioned in a lot of videos that I make on my channel, where there is a segment called as Travel Hack Tuesdays, where it's all about how to cut down expenses, how to look for the best flights, where to stay, which is it's a lot of detail, and I'm sure all the viewers will really enjoy it.
We'll give a link to that in our description as well, so people can check it out. And
Sure.
Shashwat, I understand that you have visited so many places and you have had that amazing experience everywhere. But did you at any point in time visit a place where you felt a little bit unsafe, or you felt that, okay, this is something that, like I want to get out of immediately?
Yeah. I think whenever you're traveling, there are going to be some circumstances where, of course, it's not your home country. You don't know the language, you don't know the culture. So there have been a few instances. In fact, in Nepal, when we were taking a flight back from Lukla. Lukla is the airport where the base camp starts. The trek for the base camp, it starts there. So we finished the trek and we came down, and we were waiting at the airport. So I did not know this back then, but the local airport, I don't know the situation now. I'm talking about 10 years back, but back then the entire airport was managed by a local mafia, right? So government is least involved in this. Okay, so the airport was managed by this local mafia, and airlines are not. They don't matter which airlines or anything. You have to pay or bribe the local mafia to get yourself on the plane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and of course, I am a student. I am in my internship, and of course, I don't make that much money because that time, and they were asking for that time 20,000 rupees for just getting inside the plane from Lukla back to Kathmandu. The entire budget of our base camp was 60-70,000. The entire trek.
Right.
So that was almost half of the entire budget, and we felt, how are we going to get on the plane if this local mafia is demanding this sort of a bribe or a tax or whatever he's saying. But then, and of course, a lot of foreigners used to come. There are a lot of people from abroad, and for them it's $100-$200, which is not much during that time. But we were not allowed for 3 days, so we were at the airport for 3 days, and then somehow all of us, what we did was, all other Indians were also there, so we chipped in and we called for a helicopter from Kathmandu.
So, Shashwat, you are from India. You are a travel blogger based out of India. You have been traveling between Mumbai and Surat for your professional duties as well. Um, I hope that you have traveled extensively in India as well as outside now.
Yeah, very, very extensive in India.
So if like somebody from outside India, maybe an European traveler or somebody from US, like who wants to come and visit India, and they don't know anything about where they want to go or some things that they want to watch out for, would there be any tips
Yeah,
that you would like to give them?
yeah. So first of all, I would want all the viewers to understand that India is very beautiful, and the way it has been portrayed in the media or in films, it's completely opposite of what they show. So, in fact, after traveling to a lot of places outside India, I still feel the northern Indian region of Ladakh, Himachal, Arunachal, these are still my favorite places to travel to. I've seen the Swiss Alps, the Italian Alps, but still the Himalayan mountains are still one of my favorite places. So I don't know what it is, but that place is so magical. And to all the people coming to India the first time, please try to understand that there is so much more to India than Delhi, Jaipur, and Agra. Because all the people who come to India first time, they have this triangle, golden triangle sort of a thing, that they want to go to Delhi, Agra, and then Jaipur, and that is all. That's all of there is to India. But India is so much more than that. So yes, please, you of course you go and see all these places, but try to step out of this region as well. Go to the north, go to the northeast, South India, even Western Ghats. They are very beautiful. and the people are also very kind. And if you ask for help, or if you ask, or if you just approach anyone with a smile, no one is going to tell you no to anything. They're always very welcoming and always wanting to help, even if they might not be able to help you, but their motive is always a positive motive to anyone who's coming abroad, because from abroad, because they are still very fascinated to meet people from out of India as well. So that is there. And you might feel that there are a lot of videos that keep circulating about scams and everything. Yes, that is a reality. Even as local tourists, we are still subject to that. But if you are smart enough, the scams are going to be everywhere. I've been to Thailand, Indonesia. Those small scams are everywhere. So you just have to be street smart and understand that these scams are everywhere. So just try to avoid those small things, and otherwise it's very beautiful. You're always welcome, and it's a different world. It's something that you've not seen anywhere in the world, and it's amazing. So welcome to India.
Amazing. Shashwat, a lot of our readers end up asking us. We did a Q&A session as well previously with them, and people ask about, like which would that one city be in India where, like, if they are landing and they can get to terms with traveling in India first, and then move to a city like Delhi, which like is full of touts, etc., right from airports to any taxi corners.
Uh, wow, that's really difficult because I have so many favorites. I mean, I think.
A simple city, like where people can just walk out of the airport and start, traveling on foot, just
Okay,
look at places, etc.
okay,
Which
okay.
one would you
So,
recommend?
see, of course, I have a soft corner for Mumbai because I have spent a lot of years in Mumbai. So, I would feel that Mumbai is a city where you can actually walk faster than you can drive. So,
Hmm.
talking about the same question, that yes, the airport is right in the middle of the city. You can just walk out of the airport, and there's the beach. There are so many good places to eat, and it can be a very perfect hub to go north and south. It's actually in the center of the country. So you can come to Mumbai, spend like 3 4 days here, then maybe go to Goa. That is like your direct flights from Mumbai. Goa is an amazing beach place. And of course, you can go to south where the natural beauty is very nice. And again, you can go to the north. So Mumbai is right in the center. So always I'm going to recommend Mumbai to anyone rather than Delhi coming to India. So yeah, hands down Mumbai.
Absolutely. I have traveled personally to Mumbai. I've done a lot of shoots, etc. there as well.
Nice,
And yes,
nice.
I would second Shashwat's opinion there of Mumbai. Like it's a very friendly place. It's open
Yes.
24/7. You can walk out any
Yeah,
time
yeah.
of the day. Things go by the meter. People are helpful. They always have a smile on their face.
Definitely.
And most
Definitely.
of all, a lot of them would understand English as well. So that ends up
Exactly.
becoming another good reason for you to take your first stop in Mumbai and then travel to the other parts of the country. Amazing.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, Shashwat, on a lighter note, we wanted to ask you, like if you were given an all expenses paid trip to eat all the food in the world, like any cuisine that you want, or to visit the seven wonders of the world, what will you pick?
Uh, I think it has to be the Seven Wonders. It has to be the Seven Wonders for sure. See, food is something that my this is personally talking. My wife is more interested in the food part. I am more of, I would rather see the places that then rather have the food, because yeah, food of course it's a very integral part of traveling. It's very important, but the places that you're going to see, you're going to see it only in that place. The same food or a similar kind of food you can get anywhere in the world. Italian cuisine you're going to have in Mumbai. Ethiopian food you can have anywhere else. But the pyramids are going to be there in Egypt only.
Right.
So food, yeah, you can get anywhere, but those seven wonders are going to be there. So I would rather go and see the seven wonders anytime.
Amazing. And do you have any favorite wonder?
Uh, I'm gonna root for my home country. Taj Mahal is very beautiful. So definitely Taj Mahal, hands down favorite.
Amazing. And how many wonders have you seen till now?
Uh, Wonders. I think it's only has to be the Taj Mahal. I haven't been to all of them, so I haven't seen the other places because it's little too touristy for me. I mean, it's definitely they are very beautiful. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but it's a little too touristy for me. So I'm not a big wonders person. But yeah, I would like to see them once at least. But I have only been to Taj Mahal and I have not seen any others yet.
All right. On that note, we wanted to ask you a couple of more questions about
Yeah.
your growth as a channel. Dr. Shashwat, where do you see the channel heading now? Which are the places that you want to travel to next, and what can we expect
Yeah.
in the future?
Right. So now I think, see, for a lot of other people, this is YouTube is their main profession. Like that is what they do 24/7, and I cannot give that much time to the channel. So of course, the growth is going to be relatively slower to a traditional YouTuber who will start out, right? And I'm happy with that because I don't want it to grow too quickly where everything goes out of control. So it's gonna grow slowly, and I'm not in a hurry to grow the numbers as long as I'm enjoying the work I'm doing. Numbers will eventually come, but I would rather put out videos that I would want to see. That end of the day, if this is my vibe and this is what I want to make, I'll make that, and let it resonate with 1,000 people also. But then, if it resonates with those 1,000 people, they're going to be very faithful. They're going to be truly connected to you. So numbers, yeah, they will come, but I'm enjoying the process of video making and recording. So that is the agenda for the channel, and thankfully, this is not thankfully, but my bread and butter comes from my other profession. So that is there, but of course, it's going to grow the channel. So next, what I'm planning, in fact, before the lockdown, we were planning a trip to South Africa. Like everything was planned. I had collaborations planned with a lot of resorts inside the national park, the Kruger National Park. Everything was planned. Like even Cape Town, in Cape Town, I had a lot of shark cage diving planned, whale watching planned. It got postponed because of COVID, but the tickets are still booked. The airline has said that keep the tickets. We cannot refund it right now, but let's keep the tickets for a couple of years. So maybe South Africa is the next plan. I really want to go to South Africa because I've heard it's very beautiful animals. Cape Town, the city is beautiful. So that is the next step. And otherwise, I want to start a small, not a course, but help people with jobs and professions to do this side hustle. So I want to start that segment on the channel as well. That I want to teach them how to balance these two things because it's not possible for everyone to leave their jobs and do YouTube full time. It
Right.
sounds very dreamy and it has worked for a few people, but it's not possible for everyone to do this. So I want to focus more on that, how to balance both and how to do YouTube and a full time job at the same time.
Amazing. I am 100% sure that there would be thousands of people, looking forward to that course from you, or possibly a video or a self-help guide, whichever way that you want to roll it out in the future. And Shashwat, on behalf of Yoduzi, I would like to thank you for your time today. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to you. We are delighted, by this opportunity again. So thank you so much. Wish you happy rest of the day now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's always nice talking to like-minded people. So it's just a lot of fun for me. Thank you for having me.